Hello, Cherries. Welcome to Live Cherry Sunday, episode 84. And today, I'm going to show you how to use the circle of fifths to create chord progressions and for songwriting and improvisation. So it's going to be really, really cool. I think it's important to know the circle of fifths because in this circle lies all music, and it's really, 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 really cool. And once you get the hang of it and you start to understand a little circle, you'll come up with all kinds of cool chord progressions that I think you'll really dig. So hopefully you can hear my guitar. Give it a little boost on. Give it a little boost. Hello, Kelly. I want to say hello to Kelly in the chats right here. Thank you for hanging out with me. Give you a round of applause. You're awesome, Kelly. So as usual, I will put a timestamp in my description to let you know exactly when the lesson will start. But right now I want to say hello to Kelly and see if she's caffeinated. I'm drinking out of my Cherry mug. If you don't have one, I suggest you get one because look how cool they are. A little guitar busting out of the cherry. It's pretty cool. I think Kelly's on her second coffee of the day, maybe even third. So, all right. You know it. So, really, really, really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put on this chart right here that I have, which is the circle of fifths. There it is. And it's really cool. If you look at it here, you can see that the notes are second cup, she says. The notes are a fifth apart. So that means that they're 5 intervals apart. So if you look at the top where it would be 12 o'clock, it's kind of like a clock as well too, 12 notes, 12 numbers. C would be where 12 o'clock is. If you look from C to G clockwise, you'll see that it's 5 letters. The musical alphabet is only 7 letters. It's A to G. And it's just continuous and continuous. So C to G, there's 5 spaces. You got C, D, E, F, G. C counts as 1. So if you count C, D, E, F, G, then you have, that's why G is the next one in the circle of fifths. And then G to D, if you count G, A, G is the last one, so it's G, A, you're starting at A again, B, C, D, and D is the fifth. So you got G to D. So these intervals are 5 letters apart, which is a fifth apart, circle of fifths. So D to A, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Wow, do you hear that? I think that's an ambulance or a fire truck outside. Well, this is Brooklyn. And I always say here in Brooklyn, I could throw my guitar out the window, and chances are it's going to land on a fire truck, an ambulance, or a cop car. So, all right, or a breakdancer. I don't know. So that's the circle of fifths and how it works. And what's cool about it is that there's all kinds of chord progressions you can come up with in there, like there's a very popular one called the 1-4-5, and if you check out this chart right here, you'll see that that's a 1-4-5 progression right there. You'll see the middle C again, and one to the left is the 5, and then one to the right is the 5, the G, and one to the left is an F. Hello, Rockin' the Rockies! Give you a round of applause. I feel like I should have some background music here. The fire trucks driving by isn't quite the background music that I'm looking for here. We need like a little, just the real low in the background. So anyway, this is one really, really easy way of looking at the circle of fifths here. Is that you have the C, then you have the F, which is clockwise. The C, the G, that's the fifth. And if you go backwards on the clock, counterclockwise, that goes in fourths. So you can go around the circle counterclockwise, and it'll be a 4. So what you're looking at right here is a 1, which is the C, a 4, if you look to the left, and then the 5 if you look to the right. So that's a 1, 4, 5 progression in the key of C. And I know Rockin' the Rockies hates the key of C, but I'm going to show something a little bit later, which takes that C and turns it into a C minor. So that's going to be really interesting as well. That's called the parallel minor, which I'll get into in just a minute. But so you can take that progression right there and make a million songs out of it, and you've heard a million songs out of this, where it's a C, F, G, it's a very popular progression, a 1, 4, 5 progression, and you can write a great song, a hit song with just that progression right there, and you can use it to just improvise over. I got a little loop right here of it. Sounds like this. The magic of my looper. This is the RC5 by Boss. You can take this and you can play blues over it. If you know the C minor pentatonic scale. A little delay on it too. Right? All right, so that's just a 1, 4, 5 progression. Let's see what Rockin' the Rockies is saying. Actually, since I've been tuning in drop D, I've been using C and G a lot lately. All right, there you go. That's cool. Probably a more interesting way than I'm using C and G right now, but that's cool. And drop D. Very, very cool use of that. I love to hear that. Probably sounds bad to the bone. I don't do a lot of drop D tunings, but definitely sounds awesome. I should. So what I just did is I just played like a minor pentatonic scale over this major progression. So it's like you could do it, but you have to really kind of be careful a little bit with it. It's more of when you play the minor pentatonic over a major progression, you have to think of it as kind of like blues, where you want to take the thirds and kind of bend them up a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is because really it's a major scale. But really, those are the notes you're supposed to play over it. But you can take the minor pentatonic scale too. And end it on a major third. So what I did, I bent up a little bit on that minor third. Okay, so you could do that, or you could play the major pentatonic scale over that as well. Which, you know, if you know the minor pentatonic scale, if you just go down 3 steps, now you're playing the C major pentatonic scale. It's Rockin' Rockies mainly use D, A, and E keys, though. Yeah, it's very popular keys to use. I'm trying to run through like all keys, but I know it's hard. You know, you pick up the guitar and you start to just gravitate towards certain keys. But if you think of whatever key you want to play in, like if I pick up the guitar and I want to just play an E, I'll go, you know what, I'll play a fourth above that, and I'll just go to A. Or if I know that I played an A last, I'll think, well, I'll play in D this time. If I was in D last, I would play in G. And I'm just talking about noodling around, just so that I'm not playing in the same key all the time. And if you end up in B flat, that's just even better. So, taking this progression right here, you could take the same thing right here. Now play the C major pentatonic scale. I like to play it in the same area right here, where C minor pentatonic is. All right. So what I'm focusing on is trying to think of the roots of the chords as they come. Like when I'm playing that, whether it's the minor pentatonic or the major pentatonic, when I play the C, I'm thinking of the C. When it goes to the F, when it goes to the G, I play the G, and then I resolve to a note in the C. Even if I'm playing the major pentatonic this way, starting on C, F, G, back to the C. So, really, really cool way. And you could also, if you don't want to be in C, take that away. Well, before we move on from that, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And, hopefully you're enjoying this. Let's see. What did I want to do here right now? I wanted to just check this out. Okay, not that one. Not that one, but this one. Okay, that's the C. Check out the C. Check out the inner ring right there. You have that's the minor, relative minor of all those notes. So if you look at C, the relative minor is A. Okay, so you have C major. You have A minor. That's the relative minor. Every key, every chord, every major chord has one. It's really the same scale. C major. A minor. It's the same scale, two different chords, right? So basically, you can come up with progressions where you could play the C, and play the same scale, just play C major all day over that, right? Now you also have other chords in the key. So basically, if you go back to here, to this 1-4-5, where is it? Where is that bloody chord? There it is, 1-4-5. You see that whole like pizza shaped area where you have the 1-4-5 and you have the relative minors, which is D, A, and E minor. So you have C, you have F and G, but you also have D minor, A minor, and E minor, which is D minor, A minor, and E minor. So you can come up with all kinds of chord progressions using those chords. You can write a song in the key of C using all 6 of those chords, and it will sound great. It'll sound totally, totally awesome. Like for instance, I can go from a C to A minor to a D minor to a G to a C. Or I can go from a C to an E minor to a D minor to an F to a G. So I just wrote a song basically in the key of C, using chords from the circle of fifths, right there. And you could take that whole same idea, right? Close that out, and you could play in the key of, we got that one already. Play in the key of A. Okay, we just shift it around. You look at the key of A, and you go, okay, what's in front of that is a fifth, that's E, and what's behind it is the fourth, which is the D. So that's your 1, 4, 5 in the key of D. Right? So I have this little loop that plays a 1, 4, 5 in A. So yeah, it's great for solo ideas. Just to come up, I have my looper and I could just come up with all kinds of progressions and everything, and it's really, really cool to do that. As you see, I just switched between the key of C and the key of A. And you know what's really, really fun? Check this out. With this looper, with the RC5, I have 2 different loops going on. One of them was the key of C, playing a 1, 4, 5, and the other one was the key of A, playing a 1, 4, 5. So check this out. I'll just toggle between them. So here's the C, 1, 4, 5. And I'll just wait and it'll go to A. Now it's in A, 1, 4, 5. And I can hit it back to the C, and after the loop, it'll re-loop back to the key of C. So now we're in C. Go to A. So we're still in A. All right, so you get the idea. But you can practice changing keys that way a lot, which is a lot of fun to switch keys between the key of C and the key of A. So if I'm playing, in C major right here, and it goes to A, I know I could just go a half step up to the key of A. I'll just try this one more time. Check it out. So we got C. go back to C. And A minor. I missed it. I missed the loop. You get it. Hopefully you're enjoying this. Now I got one more really cool thing to show you with the circle of fifths here. And so we went through the key of C, went through the key of A, and Kelly's enjoying this. And Kelly is an amazing singer. She has her own show that she does every Tuesday and Wednesday on Facebook at Facebook.com/Kelly's Music Corner. And it's really, really cool. She does a show called Bedtime Stories and Lullabies where she sings a few songs and, well, she actually tells story first and then sings a couple songs. And it's really, really cool. So check that out when you can. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, Kelly's Music Corner. So hopefully you're enjoying this. You're all caffeinated and you have a Cherry mug. So any questions about any of this stuff so far? Are you with me before I get to the final part of this? All right. So, all right, what we're going to do now is we're going to, I brought up the fact that with the relative minor, because if you look at this relative minor chord here, our progression, C and A, you could play progression C to A minor. Right, and you can have all the chords that are in the key of C. The A, you have D minor, the F, G. We could also take the C and make it minor. So now, if you look at it like this, the A minor, before when we had the A minor, when it was C, the A minor. Now if you have the C is A minor, you have the same position to go up to the major right here. So E flat, major. So now we had before was C. Now you're basically just switching keys to E flat. So if you look on the chart right there, if you see C minor, which is over on where 9 o'clock would be, if you look at E flat, see C minor. So really now you're switching to the key of E flats. And you have all those chords to use in your C progression. So instead of playing a C chord, an F chord, a G chord, and a C chord, I could look at that E flat pizza shape thing where I have the E flat, B flat, A flat, or the three minor chords, F minor, C minor, and G minor. So basically you're taking the E flat key and you're looking to the before it and after it. It's the 4 and the 5, and then the 3 minor chords in the minor section right there. And you're going to create a chord progression. So I did. So I took this. I started with C major, and then I went to an E flat. I went to the key that I'm changing to. And what that does is that makes my C minor. Because look, I'm playing an E right now. E is the third of C. When I go to E flat, obviously I'm hitting an E flat now. So E flat makes my C minor. So I'm going to finish out the progression using another chord from E flat, and it's B flat, which is the 5 chord, and back to C major. All right. So hopefully you're enjoying that. Let me just check my tuning real quick, because I think I'm a little out. And what that's going to do is, when you're improvising or writing anything, you can improvise over C major, and then when it switches to E flat, you would play an E minor scale. So check it out. I think I have one right here, this progression. This is like Heartbreaker, right? So here's C major and C minor. Back to C major. C major. C major. C major. C minor. Hopefully you enjoy that. So that's just the parallel minor. What that means is that it's parallel. It's running the same exact area with each other, where you have C major, then you have C minor running the same way, which really, C minor is really E flat major. So now you have two keys running parallel with each other. See what I'm saying? Like, it's the same scale and it's the same chords. It's just that one of them's here, one of them's there, and they're both moving at the same rate, the same area. Right here is C major, right here is C minor. But really, C minor is E flat major. So if you look at two different keys moving at the same exact area, because, you know, I don't have to do that. I can just keep going between C, 4, 5. So, see, watch. Actually, I could start off with my looper, and I'll play a C major progression, and then I'll play it right into the C minor progression. See how that works. I'm in C major. Right? Stay in C major. Go to the C minor progression, the parallel minor. Here we go. All right. So I think it's pretty cool. You know, changes up the harmony a bit, gives you a little bit more options, and that's only like two or three things that I did here with the circle. So it's really cool. And actually, I go into it a little bit more in depth with the circle. Let's go back to me here for a second. And in my guitar course called Essential Skills, which this is part of. You can check that out. I'll put a link at the top of this description. And I go into fretboard memorization, the circle of fifths into more detail, where I have all kinds of progressions and I explain it a little bit more. And then I play the blues. I go into like a lot of different areas of showing the blues. Those three things I think are just really essential. Fretboard memorization, circle of fifths, playing the blues, all that good stuff right there. So check that out, please, if you can. Link at the top of the description here. And so hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button, hammer on the subscribe. Let me know what ways you use the circle of fifths, because it's really cool. And the more I dive into it, the more I figure out cool things. And you can get really, really weird with it. You know, we should do a video where it's just, you know, switching keys to keys that they're just really, really out there, which you could do. So let me know in the chat or in the comment section what ways you like to use the circle of fifths, if you do use it. I mean, a lot of people don't. There's other ways to play the same information. And as a matter of fact, the whole idea is to not look at the circle and just to have it all in your head and to understand just the way that it all flows. So that's really what you want to get to eventually. So, all right. I think we did pretty good today. So if any questions about any of this stuff, please let me know. I go live every Sunday. Let me know if you have any ideas, what you'd like to work on next Sunday. If there's anything on your mind, any theory stuff, please let me know in the comments, or let me know right now before we take off. Good basics? Yeah. Well, it's I have a little bit of latency in my comments, so you might be talking about my course with the good basics. The circle of fifths is good basics, but the essential course is all. I think that it's an intermediate course, but it's focused on important things that even very beginners should know. Like, I mean, you need to know where all the notes are, right? I have an easy way of explaining how to figure out all the notes. The circle of fifths, as you see, like today, we just kind of went through some very basic chord progressions. You could write songs, you could switch keys, you could play parallel minor. That's only the tip of the iceberg. I go into more detail with it. All beginners should know that. How to build simple chord progressions, you know. And then I go into the blues, because that gives you the feel and the soul to not just play that stuff theoretically, but to actually give it some emotion, which is what music is all about. It's all about emotion, really. So it's definitely something to build from. The building blocks. Thank you, Rock and Roll. I should change the name to the building blocks of music. So, okay, thank you very much, guys, for hanging out with me today. And if you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, all that good stuff. I think we went over everything we wanted to go through. And actually, you know what we will do before we go today, just want to mention that if you do want to go deeper into the circle of fifths, I have another video that I made on the circle of fifths that I'll put right up there. So check out that video when you get some time. And I love you guys. Be cool, be kind, and be cherry. I'll see you guys next week. All right, love yous. Peace. Enjoy your Sunday. Rock on.